The Soviet Union had placed emphasis in weapons research following World War II, which led to the Soviets' capability of launching a nuclear missile attack from one continent to another. The R-7 was the same Soviet Union ICBM that put Sputnik into space. The R-7 was designed intentionally to carry a nuclear warhead to the North American continent. However, only once was a nuclear warhead ever armed in preparation to be used against the United States. This incident is known as the Cuban Missile Crisis, which took place in October 1962. The October Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 was caused by escalating tensions between the Soviet Union and the United States. At the time, tensions grew over the U.S. nuclear ballistic missiles stationed in Turkey. The Soviet Union had begun building similar nuclear missile systems within Cuba, just 90 miles from the Florida shore. As a matter of international posturing, a U.S. blockade of ships and destroyers had been created to prevent Soviet ships from reaching Cuba. The effect of the blockade provoked the Soviet Union to arm and prepare its own ICBM with a nuclear warhead. Subsequently, due to diplomatic diplomacy efforts on either side of the Cuban Missile Crisis, the nuclear arms were removed from Turkey and Cuba. This incident changed how control systems for military weapons and communication infrastructure would be designed and deployed. It would forever be assumed that at some point, chunks of the network would become unavailable due to a nuclear attack.
Gentlemen, this air intelligence briefing is secret. During 1958, coverage of the long-range radar was extended from 1,000 to 2,000 nautical miles, with several beams added to increase intercept possibilities. Generally, all firings at beyond the 600 nautical mile range can be picked up by our long-range radar. Another radar, operational since February 1959, has been constructed on Shimia Island in the Aleutians to detect Soviet ICBM firings. All Soviet ICBM and space shots since then have been detected, except one probable ICBM firing on 9 June 1959, when equipment was inoperative due to maintenance.
The semi-automatic ground environment was a defense network designed to gather data among many radar stations and relay the information back to a command center. But the entire network was vulnerable if attacked. This is why. Ring networks had limitations due to performance and stability. Ring networks are joined together on the left and on the right to create a connection. If a device or a cable breaks, all communication ceases. As well, if information wanted to get to device 2 to device 9, it could take a long time to get to the destination. This is not the best for academic, military, or commercial needs. Star networks are devices that are attached to a central master brain. This does make it possible to send and receive information very quickly. As well, if a device ceases to function, the remaining network is generally unaffected. However, if the master brain itself was attacked, it leaves the entire defense system vulnerable. There needed to be a new unified connection method for all past, present, and future network needs. ARPA, or Advanced Research Project Agency, which would later be renamed to DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, was tasked with solving the problem. Thusly, ARPA started looking at the research of JCR Licklider. In 1963, a computer scientist by the name of JCR Licklider created a monumentous document titled Intergalactic Computer Network. In it, he spoke about the issue of having many different networks, a majority of them working on their own specialized network communication and programming languages. thus having fractured computer networks unable to communicate to one another.
The way it all started was in 1964. I was at a conference in the homestead in Virginia, and Lick and I were sitting around talking. And Lick was talking about what do we need next, and I was very interested in that. And so he was saying, well, we need a network to tie the machines together. We need some way to have them communicate.